I wrote the same thing in Czech and in German. As far as I'm concerned, if you don't know both languages, then whatever it is you think you know about Prague is fundamentally compromised. Which only really matters, of course, if compromise or being compromised in this context really bothers you. A quick test. I didn't write that WhatsApp message of mine in English, so all that you received just now is a series of paraphrases. How does that sit with you? Feels yucky, does it? Then farewell. I gave that little message of mine 5 minutes to be seen by anybody who needed to see it. Then I deleted WhatsApp. Quite a procedure, given that I don't really understand phones, and wasn't too clear on how I downloaded the app and acquired a user account. My competence ebbs and flows. The truth is, I'm too, let's say, old for telephones. I shouldn't use them. I should get a secretary. Hey, I'd like that. A secretary. But back to my, what can I call this? An apologia? A defense? An excuse? Certainly not an explanation. The act of bearing the soul has unpleasant connotations for me, mostly thanks to mallets wielded by bullies of the Catholic and communist variety. And if only all the bullies were foreigners. Once they're gone, you're still left with the homegrown zealots and chancers. Well, all that's for me to handle, not you. I've thought about pleading special circumstances for the behaviour I read about in that WhatsApp group. Consider the exceptional latitude and longitude of this place, and give yourself a bit of time to really notice the way this city touches the stars. Trust me, it's archetypal stuff. I could say things like that. Even if you were prepared to go along with such an idea, it entails comparative exercises I'm not equipped for. I mean, first of all, I'd have to manufacture the impression that there's any such thing as an ordinary city, that there are any cities that don't incorporate some degree of optical illusion. As for those mirages, be they repellent or alluring, don't they all reflect a refusal to be known like the back of some human hand? No, Paris wouldn't look askance at Prague. Istanbul would engage in a round of jocular and affectionate hair-tousling. It would be like watching two bros completely secure in their insurmountable handsomeness. Shanghai would probably flirt a little bit. Athens would immediately agree to an impromptu fishing trip, and so on. In the eyes of its counterparts across the world, Prague has not broken any of the laws that the truly great cities abide by. What else do these places share? That's a tough one. We can quite clearly see that plenty is left to the discretion of geography, faith, history, economics. Perhaps when all's said and done, the only non-negotiable feature is urban swagger. Audacity combined with a certain remoteness from reason. That's the temperament that qualifies cities to play the most extreme games of truth or dare with their rulers. Games that end in catastrophe. Or revolution. Or both. It's not that surprising, then, that a capital city so rarely channels the atmosphere of the rest of the country. When members of the populace outside the capital say, "But really that place is like another country," that's only to be expected. The tone of such remarks is envious, disgusted, mystified, forlorn, anxious. Now that I'm thinking about it, someone once told me this: the capital is the part of the country that most openly belongs to the world as well as to the nation. It's a way in for the stranger who can't or won't abandon their strangeness. And it's a last chance for the native who would otherwise rebel. I don't remember anything about the person who said this to me, except that I was very fond of that person, and I believe that they meant what they were saying, and I adored the gaze that matched their words. Me and my rubbish memory, leaving me stranded with contusions that softly, so softly, glow. I don't disparage towns or villages. You won't hear me claim that a city is a more stimulating or even more complex environment than a stable settlement that's faithful to its limits. However, the temperament of a town or a village is quite significantly linked to the expectation that between 1 year and the next, that town or the village will continue to exist. Cities, especially capital cities, have never been able to count on that.